Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by the Topoco Lodge. The holidays are almost here. That means it's time for the Christmas decorations to go up at the Topoco Lodge. If you have never visited during the holiday season, November or December, you've got to get up there. It is a terrific time to do so. Great place. If you want to do the family photo, that's a terrific place to do it with all of their decor behind it. Lift your spirits above what an awful 2020 it has been. Get up there to the Topoco Lodge and see their Christmas decorations. Okay, let's go and take a look at Pro Football Focus defensive grades. And this is for all the defensive players who's played at least 100 snaps. And again, this isn't gospel, as Vince said correctly in the first segment, but it's a number. It's somebody judging these things. Let's take a look at what they say. Again, you have nobody that they score as very good or elite. Your best players are above average starters. That would be Flowers, surprisingly, at safety. Kevon Bennett on the edge. Bryce Thompson, cornerback. Okay. After that, you get into your average starters. Then you get down into your below average starters. That's Taylor, Middleton. There's your first linebacker, Crouch. Henry To'oTo'o, Jeremy Banks, the other guys down there at the bottom, they score in their backup range. That is typically the score you see for guys who aren't even starting. Okay, now let's flip to the next graphic. I want to run through these and I'll let these guys talk about them. Let's go to the next one there, Connor. Targeted defenders. In terms of passing downs, here is who's been thrown at. Now this is based on, and the order here is their grades that Pro Football Focus has given them. But you can see all the numbers, targets, receptions, the reception percentages they've given up, yards they've given up, yards per catch, TDs, interceptions, pass breakups. All right. Flowers grades the highest for their passing defense. Thompson up there, McCullough up there. You get down to the bottom, linebacker, linebacker, linebacker. Your linebackers have given up, according to Pro Football Focus, 26 receptions on 35 targets, 74% for 358 yards and a touchdown and an interception in the first game. Now keep that in mind. Let's take a look at missed tackles. Okay, who's missing tackles? Your secondary has not been great. Flowers, who's grades high in coverage, not great in terms of missing tackles. He's missed 10. That's most than on the team. Henry To'oTo'o, 7 missed tackles. Second worst on the team. You look at your linebackers in general here. 58 tackles, 19 assists, 15 missed tackles. And let's do one more. Let's look at just to put this in perspective. Your linebackers have missed 15 tackles through 5 games. This doesn't count yesterday's action. Georgia's entire team had missed 18 tackles through its first 4 games. Your linebackers have missed 15 through 5. Tennessee down there 10th in the SEC with 12 missed tackles per game. Gentlemen, you've had Jeremy Pruitt say good things about his inside linebackers. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me we don't know what their assignments are, but we all see that people are passing over the middle on these guys all day. Missed tackles, we've seen that. We've wondered on this show about Henry To'oTo'o's weight loss. Is that linebacker core overrated? Is Jeremy Pruitt overrating them? Is Pro Football Focus underrating them? Because to me, that's the takeaway from all that defensive stuff is just how poorly your linebackers appear to be giving up missed tackles and giving up targets in terms of passes.
If that's your best position on defense and that's your head coach saying that, that's kind of an indictment on your defense, isn't it? I will say this, I'm very surprised by those numbers with Henry To'oTo'o. I realize that he's not that good in pass coverage, but as a tackler, I thought he would rank much higher. I've seen him make some really good plays this year at times. I don't watch him on every snap, but I'm surprised by that. And I'm also surprised that Trayvon Flowers would be rated as high as he has. I didn't realize he'd played as many snaps as Henry T has this year.
Well, he's rated high, but he misses the most tackles. So,
yeah.
You know, and that I think that's one of my big takeaways, besides the linebackers, John, which you're absolutely right about. It is a disappointment because you have named guys there. You expected them to play well, especially Henry T. But what stands out is they've had a little bit of breakdown, or a lot of breakdown everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's not just one area, okay, we fixed that. Right. Some guys are good in one area, but not in another, and then other guys are average in other areas. This defense was supposed to be, Phil Steele and some others, maybe one of the best in the country. Top 10, top 15 based on what they did last year and how they overachieved. And you've taken a big step back, and it's across the board. They don't get pressure on the quarterback, they miss tackles, all, busted coverage, all things.
I started to say I knew this would be rushed.
Right.
I didn't even look at pass rush because there is none. So I'm like, what's the point of putting the numbers? We know there's not a pass rush. But pass rush, linebackers, coverage. You've got issues across the board with the linebackers, Bob. Your thoughts?
I think the linebackers are hindered a bit, not making an excuse, they're hindered a bit because your defensive line is not all that good. Yeah. So lots of times Henry To'oTo'o or Flower or Kraut, you're coming off of a block trying to make a tackle, you miss the tackle. You know, sometimes they make good plays that way. So I think that's a little bit of a hindrance. But I said going into the Alabama game, I really wanted to see what To'oTo'o did because that's the closest you're going to come to NFL competition in college, I think, was what Alabama throws at you on offense. And I think disappointing is a word you can use with his performance there. And I don't want to sound like I'm picking on him or knocking him, but I just think that he's become a little bit overrated in some people's eyes as being a, by gosh, middle linebacker, shut down, done, move on, find something else.
Hey, I was part of the hype train. South Carolina, after that interception return, we opened it. I said, is he your best defender since Eric Berry? Certainly one of your most hyped since Eric Berry.
Yeah.
But those numbers, and interestingly, Pro Football Focus scored him low last year due to pass coverage. And a lot of people said, well, they don't know what they're talking about. This year, you look at it, you can see it. People are passing across the middle of them all the time.
Is he better than Daniel Batuli was?
When we come back, let's talk about Arkansas, specifically how teams have attacked Tennessee, what Arkansas likes to do, and one of the things is a Tennessee weakness that we're just talking about. We'll talk about this Arkansas game next on the Sports Source. Come on back.